Leigh Hunt's literary circle also reviewed Keats' work very positively. And well, that was very crucial because the big conservative magazines at that time were really very hostile to the Cockney school of poets. This term, Cockney school of poets, was used by the critics at that time to insult and make fun of a group of poets in the early 18s. However, William Hazlitt defended Keats a lot in his essays by placing him in the tradition of the great English poetry. This supportive behavior helped Keats overcome the publisher's hesitation to reach to the reader who blindly trusted Hunt and Hazlitt's judgment. Beyond publishing Keats' work, both Leigh Hunt and William Hazlitt acted as his mentors. Leigh Hunt gave him a direct advice on poetry. He urged him to read widely, particularly Chapman's translation and Elizabethan poetry, and to write with full freedom and imagination. Leigh Hunt, in one of his letters to Keats, wrote the lines of encouragement for him. He said, "You have a great deal of a poet in you, and you'll go far." Hazlitt's influence was more intellectual. By his essays on poets and English poetry, he taught John Keats how to think of William Shakespeare and John Milton more critically and how to treat imagination as the very central force for the great poetry. William Hazlitt's critical perspective shaped Keats' own ideas about the negative capability. Negative capability is the ability to stay in uncertainty, mystery, doubt, and confusion without rushing to find for the facts and reasons. Hunted Hazlitt corrected John Keats' drafts, engage in deep discussions about the complex themes, and urge him to treat writing as a career instead of just a hobby. The letters from that period show how closely connected and committed and invested they were to Keats. Hunt often wrote to Keats with both praise and criticism. William Hazlitt, in one of his essays on the feeling of the immortality in youth, indirectly reflected the same spirit of belief in the young genius that he saw in Keats. Hunt's Examiner magazine and William Hazlitt's fame as a critic. With these, John Keats was no longer just a young medical student writing poetry in secret, but now he was identified as part of the great poetic movement. Even later, when he was attacked by critics as part of the Hunt's Cockney school, it was proved that John Keats had become a public figure. Hunt's literary platform and Hazlitt's intellectual grooming rose Keats from obscurity to one of the greatest English poets across centuries. Thank you.